everyone, welcome to the Age of Listening channel. I thought I'd pop on really quickly and answer a question a subscriber asked about a year ago. I'm really apologetic to say that the reason I've not been on is I have had problems downloading my videos onto my app and then transferring that information over to YouTube. It's just been utterly impossible. It would take days and then cancel. It was just, So I've been waiting for more an upgrade from my internet provider, which they have just done. So I'm here again. Bit of housekeeping. I know a lot of my videos can be quite slow, so I can't help it. I am the way I am. But if you go over to the screen and you over here where you're seeing me, not on YouTube but on the actual video, and you click on the three little, if you press on it, you know, and you see like a pause button in the middle, well, click on that and you will actually see three little dots here, and if you press on that, a drop down will come up, and then halfway on that drop down you'll see speed, and if you click on that speed button, another drop down box will come up and you'll see normal, and then press on 1.25 and it will speed me up like this, where we'll talk a little bit faster. And if you really are that bored, then either click off and go away or press 1.5 and then I won't be talking like this all the whole time. Anyway, it's not easy doing this, you know. Anyway, I thought I'd just pop on and not only give that housekeeping, but also just to answer a question that a subscriber asked me a year ago. Whether they're still here, I don't know. But anyway, so the question was how do you really hear your guide? And I was having this question, I was answering this question or something similar to my son, and it was such a great thing. I thought, oh gosh, you know, I said it really well. I ought to put that on YouTube when I do it next. But I thought, you know what, I'll do it now. I'll do a quick one because I've written up a whole thing for a proper video that I'll post up soon. So what you'll find is that I keep looking at it the wrong way. I should be looking here. What you'll find is that for a lot of budding spiritually connected people who are connected to their guides, we're all different. We're all very different, and our guides come to us in very different ways. But one thing I have noticed quite a lot with quite a few people is that at a very young age, they suddenly develop this need to talk to themselves. And when I mean talk to themselves, suddenly they have an urge to pretend to talk to somebody else and have deep philosophical conversations with somebody else. But they think they're having a pretend conversation. And I used to have hours and hours and hours of these pretend conversations. But what I realised was that my guide was actually helping me to navigate the frequencies and understand the energy of what was different between just talking to yourself and actually talking to your guide. And that's why a couple of years ago, I was touching some copper, and my guide just said to me, copper is going to go like that, you know, boop. And I knew it was my guide because I recognised the frequency because I've had so many conversations. So I know the difference between me and my guide. And yeah, go look it up. If it's probably a bit late now, but if you've got shares in copper, you're doing really well. But that's how I can tell the difference. So these conversations then, so that's the first thing that happens. These talking to yourselves and having these imaginary conversations when you're young doesn't last that long. because it's only an entry point. The second is that you will, oh God, what was I going to say? You'll often find also that people who also have that experience have a sense of dippiness about them, and people tend to call them dippy. And often, I mean, you can have thick as a brick, you know, and be dippy, but also there is the other side of it, that actually you're very intelligent, but your head is in the ether. You know, your head space is not in the present, but is full of these philosophical debates that and wonderings, that you're not present enough to be able to concentrate on the day-to-day things, which is why, you know, if you are dippy but your head is so full of exploring, then you probably might be having conversations with your guide, but you're not recognizing it, because you're not recognizing that your guide talks to you in third person. Why don't you do that? Why don't you do this? Why, you know, please don't go down there. Do go down there. This will happen. This won't happen. Look at this, look at that. It's always in third person. And if you can turn your left brain off, and your left brain is your critical thinking, you're very present, you're in the here and now, scientific, everything earth-based. If you can't turn that off, then it's very difficult to get into the psychic kind of world, the woo-woo, be connected to your guide. The best way that you can connect to your guide is to shut that critical thinking off and be in the right side of the brain, which is creativity and flow. It's more of an easy place to be. And so I've always been classed as dippy. But that's not because I'm thick and thinking of nothing and I'm empty-headed. It's the opposite. I've got too much in there, and being bothered about, have I closed the door, have I turned the oven off? I mean, these things do tend to go out of the window anyway. Right, anything else? I mean, there's a huge difference between, well, I say there is a huge difference between having split personality disorder and being spiritual. But at the same point, there's also a very thin line as well. And we can discuss that on another video if you really care to. But honestly, if you've ever met anybody that's got split personality, and very rare to find that, but having any sort of personality disorder comes with a huge array of antisocial or just weird behaviour. Where on the opposite side, if you are spiritual, there should be boundaries in place. You should be in control of your emotions and your feelings, and you're repelled by people that are concentrating on their feelings all the time, and there's no boundaries and they're just rude. You know, I kind of find that, putting that aside for the minute, that when it comes down to spirituality and having your head in the ether, there's a huge debate about centering yourself, being cross-legged, and, you know, being that place of Zen. I class that as just centering yourself, just, you know, probably needing to get away from earthly matters. You know, if you're overloaded with too much from, you know, stress and strains of life, and so you need to go and center yourself. But that's not where I go to hear my guide. I hear my guide all the time walking around. I don't need to allot a time frame. And when you're growing up and having those conversations, and you think you're talking to yourself because you're only young and immature, you're actually learning to tap into and recognize a certain frequency that later on you will recognize and be able to understand that that's your guide actually talking, because it's a totally different vibration to yourself. It's the still sweet voice. It's the silence within the silence, as a famous person said, but I can't remember his name right now. And so finding that sweet spot of silence within the silence, that you take with you throughout the day, and it's very, very useful. And some people say you've got to learn to switch off, and I'm like, why? You know, it's a great place to be. I mean, I might forget where I put my car keys. There is a thing of being too heavenly for any earthly use. But there is also the argument of being too earthly for any heavenly use. Have I said that right? It's supposed to be the opposite way around. So I'd much prefer to be my head in heavenly places where I'm not too much use in the earth, than be the opposite way around, where I'm too earthly and I can't receive anything from my guide. Okay, I think, is that it? I think so. That may start some conversation, and if you have any questions to further explore, please put it in the comments section, and I'll try and pick that up on the next video. It is quite big, but there does need to be a conversation, and I have thought it would be wonderful to have somebody on, so that they could ask real-time questions and I can answer them. But hopefully that helps that person that was wanting to know, yeah, but how do I do it? And I wouldn't really, I mean, you can center yourself, and I guess it's kind of centering yourself and then prolonging that centering for the whole day. And I've already explained how to do that with the use of the bubble, which I found very, very useful, and it stops you being in a negative space. I'm a person that don't give me problems unless you're willing to hear a solution, because I'm a solution-based person. And for me, the best solution is always being in my little bubble, which keeps you protected and too earthly, and have my guide in with me. You know, to me, that makes more sense than sitting cross-legged and centering yourself and then going straight back into the world again. You know, and it stops you, you know, especially with everything that we've gone through for the last 2 years. It's been, you know, quite traumatic in so many different levels. And but I've kept myself sane by remembering who I am, remembering who's with me, remembering that I'm in a safe place because my guide is with me and is going to help me navigate my way through this maze of emotion and, you know, possible linking trauma. Right, okay, I think I'm going to leave it there. Do comment. I think there needs to be more interaction and more questions, and I can get and read them off. But I have got lots. I've been writing like crazy in my book of things to tell you, and I can't wait to tell you. So yeah, okay, right, I'm gonna let you go. Bye. Oh, subscribe, press thumbs up, helps my channel to be shared more to other people. So that's a way of saying thank you, because you've got no adverts here. Okay, bye.